we're finally moving on from 3-note chords, and it won't surprise you to learn the next step is 4-note chords. 4-note chords, just what the name implies, they're chords made up of 4 notes. Up till now we've been making our chords with 3 notes. So all we're going to do is add one more note. The easiest 4-note chord to start with is the 6th, so we're going to learn in this video how to build 6th chords. With these 4-note chords, the chord name that we call it will tell you how to build it. So I wrote the chord name tells all. With the 3-note chords, you had to know how to build the major triad, which was the 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes of the major scale. And with the minor, you had to know to drop the middle note a half step. And same with the augmented and diminished. They don't tell you how to build them. But with the 4-note chords, once we understand the triads, then the chord names will tell us how to build them. And that's the case here with our first 4-note chord, the 6th chord. The 6th chord means to add the 6th note from the major scale to the triad to create the chord. For example, if we wanted to create a C6, and that means a C major 6 because I didn't specify major or minor, we assume it's major. Then all we do is build the C major triad, which is C, E, and G, and then we add the 6th note of the C major scale to it, which is A, and that is a C6 or C major 6. So here's the notes. Here's the C, the E, the G, and the A. Here's what it sounds like. And that's the chord that the song at the beginning of this video was based on. I was using my left hand, but it was like this. So the notation here is a C with a 6. It's usually how you see it. You might see a C with a capital M and a 6, or C with an MAJ and a 6. All those are possible, because what you're really saying is whatever notation you use to indicate C major, put a 6 after it to indicate C major 6. And the other option for a 6th chord is a C minor 6. And with this one, it's the same thing as the C major 6. You just add the 6th note of the scale to it. What it means is take a C minor chord, which with C is C, E flat, and G, and add the 6th to it, which again is A, so it'd be C, E flat, G, and A. It sounds like this. Now notice that it doesn't mean to take the 6th and reduce it a half step. The minor does not apply to the 6th. The minor applies to the C chord. So it's a C minor, and you're adding a 6th to it. And that's all you can do with 6 chords. They're either a major 6th or a minor 6th. And they're just that simple. Like I said, the chord name tells you how to build the chord once you understand the underlying triad. Then the only other issue with the 6th chord, and it'll be true with everything from now on, is how do you invert it? You invert it the same way you do the majors. It's just that because it's a 4-note chord, then there's 4 versions of the chord. There's the root, C, E, G, A, and then the first inversion will be E, G, A, and C, sounds like this. And then the next inversion will be G, A, C, and E. That's the second inversion. And now we have a third inversion because there's 4 notes in this chord, so we could start with A and then go to C, E, and G. And later we'll see that this last inversion of the major chord is actually a 7th of A minor. It's A minor 7. And that's very interesting because it shows you the relationship between C major and A minor. As it turns out, once we study relative minor keys and scales, A minor is related to C major. And that's very useful in music theory if you want to shift the tone of the song without really leaving the key, and it's very common, and we've talked about this before when we get together. If a song starts in C, it's common to see the chorus or a bridge go to A minor. And the reason for that is because those two key signatures are related. And so we see that relationship again here when we've got the final inversion, the third inversion of this sixth chord. Turns out it's an A minor 7 as well. And that's also enharmonics. That's that word we learned a long time ago, where the same notes have different names. That comes up a lot in music. And that's all there is to sixth chords. If you want to build a sixth chord on any major or minor chord, just start with the triad and then add the sixth note from that scale. So for example, with the D, let's say they wanted a D6. That means a D major 6. So D major, D, F sharp, and A. The sixth note from the scale is B natural. So here's what it sounds like. It's a cool sound to me. I personally like that sound a lot. And you'll see that sound is one of the crucial elements in the song She Loves You by the Beatles, because what they do at the end of the intro and the outro is they play a G6. And you can hear them, actually they sing it more than they play it, but you can hear it, and it's cool, and you know it's different. And way back in '63, to me it was shocking, in a good way, a really good way. And one other thing, just be sure when you're building the sixth that you're getting the sixth note of the scale. If we take, for example, an E major and say we want an E6, well, we need the sixth note. We need to add the sixth note. The major is, the triad is E, G sharp, and B. It might be tempting to just grab the next note next to the B, which is C natural, but that's wrong, because the sixth is a full step away from the fifth, and so it would be C sharp. Here's the incorrect version, what it sounds like. And you can hear that that's not clean at all. And then here's the correct version. And while there's dissonance there, it cleans it up a lot. So just be careful when you're building your sixth. Start with the major triad, then add your sixth a whole step away. So for example, if it was an F6, it would be an F major triad, which is FAC. And then you need to add the sixth, which is a whole step away from C. Half step equals a whole step. So it's F, A, C, and D. Here's how that one sounds like. Same with G. We would play a G, B, D, which would be a G major triad. And then we'd add the sixth, which is an E natural, which is a whole step away from the D. Here's what it sounds like. Same with A. We'd do an A major, A, C sharp, and E. Now, it's tempting to add the white note, but that's not correct because it's only a half step away. We need to add the F sharp up here, which is a whole step away from the E. And so we add the F sharp, it sounds like this. And finally, if you're playing a B, B major would be B, D sharp, and F sharp. In order to add the sixth, don't add the G. You need to go all the way up to the G sharp. And here's what it sounds like. And that's all there is to six.